Hey everybody, it's Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Interesting topic today, and I'm glad that Larry is doing this topic because I probably would have done this topic if he didn't pick it first. It's about the wind, and why is this interesting? Because over the last 2 months, obviously a lot of us have been stuck at home due to the stay-at-home order. What I found very interesting is I have probably gotten more questions about the wind than any other weather question, except for maybe the severe weather that we've had a lot of lately. Every comment I've gotten is like, man, it seems like it's so windy. Here's the interesting thing. March and April, as you see on the chart here, are the windiest 2 months on average here in the Charlotte area. Our average wind speed during the month of March is 8.4 miles per hour. Same for April. Those are by far the windiest months of the entire year. This is kind of what I would consider the windy season here in Charlotte. Now, this year, ironically, even though everybody thinks it's been crazy windy, the last 2 months have been slightly below the long-term average. I actually was keeping track, but I got to look it up here. March actually averaged 7.6 miles per hour, and April so far, 7.4 miles per hour, which is below that 8.4. Why has it seemed so windy? Well, think about it. We're all at home. We're not going out. We have less distractions. Observational bias. We're noticing things a lot more because we're stuck at home. So I think it's really interesting to talk about how the wind forms and why this time of year is so windy. It has a lot to do with the longer days, the sunlight, the jet stream. This is the windiest time of the year on average. And today's topic is going to dive into this more with Larry Sprinkle talking about the wind. It is very fascinating.
The subject today is all about the wind. All about the wind. Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle here at our studios at WCNC Charlotte in the First Warren Storm Center, and the wind is very interesting. Wind speed, wind direction. The big question is, where does wind come from? How does it originate? Well, it's pretty simple. The sun comes out and heats the ground. The sun's rays heat the ground. So the ground is warm once again by the sun's rays. So what happens to that warm air? Warm air is lighter and it rises. Warm air is lighter and it rises up into the atmosphere. And speaking of the atmosphere, once you get up to a certain level, the air is much colder up there. So what happens to that cold air? Cold air is denser and it sinks. So cold air sinks. You have warm air from the rays of the sun heating the ground. That air rises up. The cold air from above sinks. And there you get the key to when we talk about the wind. Warm air rising, cold air sinking. That movement of air is wind. So that's it. Pretty simple. Warm air rises, cold air sinks. That movement is a wind. So we talk about wind speed and wind direction. How do we measure all this? We have some very special instruments. Wind speed is measured by an instrument called an anemometer. An anemometer, that's a cup anemometer. You see the cups up there. Those cups actually spin, and mathematically we can figure out the wind speed using an anemometer. The next question is, what about wind direction? How do we find out about that? Wind direction is from using a weather vane. North, south, east, or west, the weather vane moves, and that can tell us the direction from which the wind is coming. So there you go. We can tell you the wind speed, the wind direction, anywhere from Charlotte to Atlanta to Denver to Los Angeles and everywhere in between. There are the nice, gentle breezes like this. And then there is the much higher wind that you get in some sort of storm, maybe a thunderstorm, maybe a hurricane, maybe a tornado. The wind blows and the trees move, and sometimes it gets a lot worse than that. You can have these high winds right here gusting over 50, 60 miles per hour. And then there's the wind in the wintertime that blows over 50 miles per hour, blowing snow around so you get a whiteout. You can't see anything. So there you have it, all kinds of wind speed, wind direction, nice gentle breezes. So that's it. I'm Larry Sprinkle, all about the wind.
Thanks, Larry. Yeah, so today we've had some breezy conditions, and one of the reasons we see so much wind this time of year is we tend to get a lot more sunshine and the air is much drier here in the spring. In fact, April is our driest month of the entire year. So not only is it windy and dry, but it actually is one of the most, I think, weather-wise best months of the year because we get these mild afternoons and cool mornings. And those temperature differences from day to night causes a lot of wind this time of year. Also, we've got a lot of active cold fronts, low pressure and high pressure systems, which drive a lot of the wind this time of year. So hope you enjoyed today's topic on the wind. It has been a hot topic. Again, a conversation about why it's been so windy. It actually is very common. And again, I'll go back to our chart. There's the average wind speed in Charlotte since 1941 to this year. These 2 months, the average wind speed is 8.4 miles per hour. And interestingly enough, the direction west and southwest here in these 2 months. So pretty fascinating to see. Tomorrow, I'll be doing the topic on Doppler Radar. Doppler Radar is one of those things that is a great tool. It's a piece of technology we've had for quite some time. A lot of folks have access to it now on their phone and the internet, but a lot of people don't understand how it works and why it's not uniformly equal across the entire country. Even though the map might show radar everywhere, it's not the same everywhere. We'll talk more about some of the pitfalls of Doppler radar, how it works, and some of the ways we use it to diagnose severe weather, especially this time of year. See you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock.